So y'all remember that time that I got on TikTok telling y'all about the food stamps? Do y'all remember that time I got on here and told y'all about the food stamps? Why the fuck did they turn my food stamps off? And I gotta pay back $35,000. They turned my food stamp off and I gotta pay back $35,000. Now I'm aggravated because how y'all didn't know I was playing on here?
No, I got to say this. Oh Lord, hold up.
I was playing on here.
It's the damn chirp. Okay. This is my proposal. Can we put an allocated budget together for smoke detector alarm batteries? Because obviously there is such deep poverty taking place across America in specific demographics, just put it that way, groups of people, where it seems that they cannot afford new batteries for smoke alarms. This is my starting place, so you can imagine where we're going with this. Secondly, conversation is food stamps. Our guy RFK Jr. is doing a fantastic job and I'm saying fantastic because he is up against the juggernaut machines that are big food and big pharma, right? So he's doing all he can, getting certain chemicals and things of that nature out of our food. Like that's a lot to ask for when you are facing these types of institutions, as well as getting the sodas off of the food stamps and a lot of the junk food, etc. So that being said, dear whoever you are, dear Bonnet Queen, it might not actually be so bad that your food stamps are being turned on. Just hear me out. When your body goes into a state of fasting, you go into what is known as ketosis. Ketosis is the fat burning stage where you turn that stored fat, otherwise known as glycogen, into nothingness. Hopefully we can get some muscle going. But best we can ask for is just fasting is then going to unlock the fat burning. So this might actually be a blessing in disguise. Now let's listen to the rest of the story because, again, I have no context here. I just read that somebody lied about food stamps, and I thought to myself, well, sounds fitting because most people, not all, but most people who are leeching on the system are not exactly the most they're not exactly the most honest people. A lot of people are playing the system. There are those who genuinely need it, and I believe that we should absolutely take the best care of those people, especially those who've contributed to the overall ecosystem, those who have given something. I don't want to take care of Asha Quanisha. I don't want to pay for her eyelashes and her hair getting done. I don't want to pay for her tattoos. I don't want to pay for 30. I mean, how do you owe 35,000 on food stamps? How much money are they giving on food stamps? Can somebody let me know how much are y'all getting on food stamps? You're getting more than the folks who are working asses off? That is insane.
Y'all just running with shit. But them motherfuckers really turned my goddamn food stamps off. Good. And I have to pay them back $35,000. I don't know where the hell I'm going to get $35,000 from, but I have to pay them back. So y'all, watch what y'all put on the internet because everything is not for the internet.
Okay.
And I learned that.
Okay.
Now I'm sitting here stuck, hungry as fuck, no food.
That's a lie. That's a lie. This is a beg talk. You guys know beg talk? It's not TikTok. It's beg. This is where they beg on TikTok. I'm going to break this down.
And I don't got a fucking $35,000, so I don't know where they think I'm about to get that from.
Okay. So this is what I actually think is going on. This is my own assumption. I know I'm jumping to conclusions, but damn it, I'm a jumper today. All right. So what's going on is she told her story like a lot of people self-snitch on social media, right? And by golly, I'm actually down for it. A lot of these guys who are, committing these heinous crimes, etc., then bragging online, Like, make the job easier for our police departments. Please do it. Continue to snitch on yourself on these podcasts, etc. So she tells the truth. She snitches on herself about how she's getting all this money on food stamps, even though she's making other money, right? So I'm just going to make a scenario up here. She's making money on TikTok, and then she's also filed for food stamps as unemployed or whatever else it may be, right? So she's getting that money from TikTok or whatever else she's got going on. And then she's making money, well, I guess getting paid to feed herself from the government, from us, our taxpayer dollars. That's how that works. She got caught because the IRS and other government institutions also use these platforms, you see, right? Y'all like to brag and show off y'all stuff or whatever it is. Okay, cool. Make the job easier. So it's now caught up with her, and she is owing an exorbitant amount of money. Again, that's still crazy. $35,000. Like, how much are you getting on food stamps? That is insane. Somebody made $35,000 this year, and you got $35,000 on the food stamps for the year or whatever amount of time it is. So, again, this is my assumption, is that now they're on you, and now you're trying to make up for that, right? I don't know if it's actually $35 that you owe, but I know that you're trying to get your audience to give you some money. Did they turn your food stamps off? Probably. Did they say that you owe $35,000? Maybe. I don't know. But are you begging? Yes. Now, I want to take this into a grander conversation of the welfare system. You know, Trump right now is public enemy number one when it comes to turning off certain benefits, et cetera, et cetera. What's happening is a transfer. So nothing has been completely shut off. It's just the rules have changed for the better. Instead of people being able to milk the system, you now either have a window, right? So you are able-bodied, you ma'am, you are an able-bodied young woman who has the ability to afford lashes and a bonnet at the very least. We know that. We can assume. And you have tattoos. Tattoos are not cheap. No tattoos are cheap unless you're getting them in, you know, San Quentin or something like that. So you have the ability to afford something. Definitely the lashes and an attitude. You can work. You can find work. Maybe it's not the exact work you want for the exact pay that you want, but you can build your way up to that. Right? You know, this generation of instant gratification gets on my nerves. Like, everything needs to be now. And so everybody wants to be a content creator. That's work too. Are you willing to show up every single day and eat dirt until you maybe don't anymore? Are you willing to take that risk of maybe having to move back in with your mama and your daddy? You know, at 26 years, 27 years old, and having to build something and hope it works and put your whole everything into it and crickets on the other side, and every single day you got to go hunt and it might not hit. If you're willing to take those risks, by golly, do it. You know, that's why I don't have these conversations about, oh, the millionaires and the billionaires. 80% of them, you know, created their wealth. Even if some of them got $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, you have to build that to make some. Look, I'm not going to be the one to talk. You can, and you can go on and on about that, but I'm not the one. Okay. But what I will say is this. You can work, and so can a lot of people who are leeching off the system right now. But there's generations that have been born into welfare. And it's unfortunate because especially, you know, in certain communities, like the quote unquote black community, it was taboo to be on welfare. I've heard the story from many people whose grandparents, parents, etc., would not allow for their families to be put on the welfare system. They had too much dignity to be welfare recipients, to be welfare babies. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I had food stamps for 6 months in my life. I was down bad. But the moment that I had $1 over what I needed to buy more than just a little pack of rice or whatever it was, and a little Campbell noodle soup, I got off of the food stamps. I said, I did everything humanly possible to get myself off of that. If I even got to the 6 month, if I got to the 6 month window, sometimes you hit a hard place in your life. You know, the vid hits, the Jabsky Wabsky, the Fauci ouchie, that hits, right? You know, '08 hits or whatever it may be. and you're figuring it out, and you have to do things that you've never had to do before, and you have to, like, yes, I get that. But to live, breathe, eat, sleep, shit, and die to this welfare stuff, no. I'm not willing to give to it. I'm not willing to pay for it. There are folks who are genuinely disabled and they have too much dignity to just be leeching off of somebody or something. They won't weaponize their disability. And some of them watch me. You're probably going to be in the comments. They want to take over their own life, as much autonomy as humanly possible. Some don't even have the ability to walk, but they're willing to do things to be more free. You have everything going. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you can't. But I know at the very least, somehow you got some lashes. That, again, that's, and a bonnet, a red one at that. So you got to choose. So you can at least hit the damn Walmart. Okay. You at least have Walmart. I don't know how much these eyelash technicians or anything get paid. I know how much, again, tattoo artists are getting paid, etc. So, girl, if they shut off your food stamps for real, and you're not just using this as a way to finesse your audience, it's gonna be your blessing. It's gonna be the best thing that happened to you. You know, there was a time in American history where there was no food stamp, there was no welfare, there was nothing. You built the shit. Like nobody was gonna give you anything because there was nothing to give. Everybody was poor, and everybody was like building their way up from nothing. Everybody was creating their resources, in essence, in real time. You know, we love to talk crazy about, the billionaires of old and look. Carnegie came over on a damn boat from Scotland with no daddy, his mama, and the shoes that were barely on his feet. And he figured it out. And he used America as at least the freedom of America to build what he wanted to build. Right? The Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers, those are reptilians, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. But they had to build it. And I'm not saying you have to be that. That's not even your aspiration. That's not your ambition, your desire. But you have the ability. You're an engineer, electrician, plumber, etc. You can make of it what you will. There's some who are going to sit on their laurels and beg and beg and beg and hope the government saves them, hope somebody saves them one day. And there are those who are going to get off their rear end and figure it out. They're going to read. They're going to learn how to market themselves. They're going to put themselves on the internet. You know, they're going to do all these things. They're going to take advantage of what is in front of them. I was in the marketing business for a very long time. And I had to sell people on themselves half the time. Put yourself out there. Real estate agents I was working with, put yourself out there. Build a personal brand. Build a personal brand. It wasn't until 2020 hit, all of a sudden, everything shuts down. Hey, that personal brand you're talking about. Brother, really? Now we're working backwards. I would see real estate agents who just got their license fresh, but were already online doing different stuff. And within a year, 2 years, they were now doing better business than the people who had been in the space for decades, because they were willing to do something the others weren't. So again, you could live off welfare, but I'm not going to pay for you. I'm with Trump. I'm with Trump on that one. There's some things where I'm like, you over there in Qatar. I don't know what you're doing over there in Qatar. Them Saudi, real sus. But them food stamps, the Section 8 housing, oh, you can turn the faucet off. Yeah, you can do that. Okay, yeah, you can let it be a drip system. How much you need? Okay, fantastic. Let's get it together. Are you looking for jobs? Well, Are you looking for jobs? Is looking for a job your job right now? Is looking for a job? I didn't say the job. I said a job. The job that you have right now. Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. Are you building every day? You know, people talk about, it must be so nice to have your own schedule. Oh, you're lucky. Are you willing to go hunt every day and to come home with nothing? And to go back out tomorrow and to come back with nothing? Then to go back the next day and to come back with just a little bit of something? Then to go back and have nothing? The next, big old catch. Then go again. Oh, nothing. Are you willing to live a life like that? If not, then again, settle for having to be employed by somebody, which again can be a phenomenal thing. Take full advantage of that opportunity. But when you live in this victimhood mentality, it's done from the very beginning. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 365, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up. You know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises. You get to praising.